Hello, everybody. Brian Burke, the editor of Music and Sound Retailer. Thanks for joining us for another one of our great Zoom interviews. Joining us today from across the pond, I'm really excited to have Mark Packham. He's the Seller Engagement Manager for Reverb. And he's going to talk about, Mark, you got a really important topic to talk about today, and that's tips for MI retailers as far as their e-commerce sales goes. And it's and I was talking to you about it before we started this interview, how important this is for MI retailers to have a strengthened e-commerce business. I think that that's something we've really been taught through the pandemic, is that this is a vital part of a business, whether it's your entire business or whether it's just a good portion of it, or even a small portion of it. It's really crucial to have that. So can you provide, some advice to retailers on how to better sell their products when they're trying to sell on online sites like Reverb?
Yeah, sure, certainly. Yeah, I've got a short some tips to share with you. More than happy to share them, and we can chat about them afterwards. If you've got more questions, yeah, more than happy to continue afterwards. Give me 1 second, and I will share my screen with you.
Thanks. Oh. This is cool.
We're used to this Zoom lifestyle now.
I'm not used to this. This is like a NAM education session. I'm gonna enjoy it.
1 second, and I will be right with you. Cool. You can see that, okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Good. The obligatory Zoom question. You can see my screen.
Right.
We're getting used to this. So, yeah, no, thanks for the intro, Brian. As you mentioned, my name is Mark Packham. I'm Seller Engagement Manager here at Reverb. In my role, I help retailers in the UK grow their sales on Reverb. I specifically look after the UK. I joined Reverb in 2018. Prior to that, I worked for a number of music instrument retailers and also in the consumer electronics industry as well. I'm also a musician. I play guitar for 22 years. For my sins, I'm mostly a bass player. But let's don't hold that against me. Let's have a look at what we're. Sorry,
I said never will hold that against you.
Good. I want to talk about what we're here to talk about today. So I want to talk about some tips for growing your online sales in 2021. But first, I want to talk a little bit about Reverb. Then we'll walk through some of the best practices for online operations. And even though, like I mentioned, in my day-to-day, I'm usually helping out our sellers in the UK, but keep in mind that these tips work for Reverb sellers on both sides of the pond. So for anyone who's attending who's not familiar with Reverb, we're the largest online marketplace dedicated specifically to the buying and selling of musical instruments across the globe. And since launching in 2013, Reverb has grown into a vibrant community of buyers and sellers from all around the world. Now, by focusing on e-commerce tools designed specifically to make selling instruments seamless, fostering five-star buyer community of high-quality buyers from all over the world, and providing live musician support through our team of gear experts, Reverb's created an online destination where the global music community can connect over the perfect piece of music gear. So today we're going to be talking through my top tips for growing your online sales in 2021. And here's what we're going to be covering. Firstly, putting everything in your store online and incorporating a mix of new and used gear. Secondly, optimizing your online store with integrations. Thirdly, dedicating in-store resources to your online shop. And lastly, maintaining your Reverb badges. So let's get started with tip 1, listing everything. So one thing I often hear from sellers in the UK is that they come to Reverb to list their vintage and used items because they know Reverb is a great place to sell unique instruments. But now more than ever before, sellers should be listing all of their new gear online as well. Musicians have been increasingly buying musical instruments online over the years, but 2020 sped up the shift from buying in-store to buying online significantly. Players who normally pick up music gear at their local shop suddenly found themselves without that option. And over the past year, we've seen a dramatic influx of first-time buyers and a sharp increase in the amount of new gear being purchased on Reverb. And now that a wider variety of buyers are shopping more online in general, this means that smaller items like strings, picks, sticks, heads will be of interest as well. For these reasons, you should be listing everything in your shop online. And on Reverb, to really optimize that further for these smaller items, you can now use our combine and save shipping tool. This tool helps sellers increase cart sizes by incentivizing buyers to add additional items to save on shipping. It's basically a multi-buy tool. You buy more than one thing in a similar shipping profile, you can save on shipping. Now, great Reverb sellers almost always offer a fantastic range of new and used in their shops. The key takeaway is if you can list it, you can sell it. So I wanted to stop here just to briefly highlight a seller, Boston Guitar in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Now, as more and more musicians started buying music gear online last year, and it became clear that the trend wasn't going to slow down, Boston Guitar prioritized working with their Reverb account manager to ensure that all of their inventory was listed online and that they were doing all that they could to connect with buyers. By prioritizing their online store and offerings and adopting the full suite of features that Reverb provides, they saw a significant increase in sales in 2020. Now, I describe this as a classic example of Reverb Sales 101. At the end of the day, when you list, you sell. So don't be afraid to put all of your gear, both new and used, up online. Let's look at tip 2. Optimize your online shop with integrations. Now, some of the most widely used options for bringing your inventory to Reverb are our e-commerce integrations and our inventory import-export function. As I mentioned before, 2020 brought more buyers online than ever. And during the 2020 holiday season, Reverb sellers experienced their biggest holiday to date. Integrations are important because as buyers continue to shop online, sellers need ways to get more inventory online quickly and manage it efficiently with the other systems that they have in place. There are 3 ways that retailers can list gear on Reverb. One at a time, through a spreadsheet import, or through an integration. And I want to spend a little time on integrations because we've had many larger sellers see some great success with them in 2020. Integrations allow you to manage your listings, inventory, and orders from one central location that communicates back and forth with your sales channels. In other words, when you sell something on your website, the item can automatically be pulled from Reverb or vice versa. Integrating your in-store and online operations is a great way to set yourself up for success online for the remainder of 2021. And Reverb has a tech team dedicated to helping you smoothly bring these offerings into your shop. Now, the Fellowship of Acoustic in Dedemsvaart, Netherlands recently completed an integration with Reverb via Lightspeed Retail. They increased their listings by adding hundreds of items, and as a result have become one of the top sellers in the region. They now manage all of their Reverb listings through the integration by creating listings on their own website, meaning they're listing more gear more easily than before. Now, if you're interested in integrating with your e-commerce store with Reverb, you can learn more in the Reverb Help Center. There's a whole bunch of articles there that will show you what's possible, or you can reach out to the integrations team, integrations@reverb.com. More than happy to walk you through your options. So tip 3, dedicate in-store resources to your online shop. So top sellers on Reverb dedicate a person or a team to their shop's online success. Just as you assign salespeople to your showroom floor, you should also do the same online. During the pandemic, when brick and mortar shops closed, many sellers shifted their resources to focus employees' time and attention to online sales. Now those customers have come to expect a certain level of online service from your shop. So we recommend continuing to dedicate the necessary time and resources to this e-commerce channel. Now that the store's open, don't forget that people will have expected to get the same sort of services they do in store and online, and we don't want that to slip now that the shop is open. Now, a dedicated employee can continue to answer questions and respond to messages quickly, and that will help close sales faster. They can use the Reverb mobile app to move around the store, take original photos, and answer questions while they're doing it. They can also use Reverb to source used gear online to flip and provide buyers with a more personal experience, again, similar to the customer service that you provide in store. Now, one of the accounts I look after is Studio Care Professional, who specialize in audio sales, rentals, and repair in Liverpool, UK. Their e-commerce manager sees their ability to answer questions and make offers quickly as a big differentiator for their store. Studio Care told me that the more quickly they respond to a question, the more likely they are to beat out other stores for the sale. They use Reverb's messaging function to help them respond to users quickly, showcase their team's gear expertise, and anticipate the next questions they'll get from customers. The Studio Care team welcomes questions from buyers, as they've got a staff of audio professionals with lots of experience, and oftentimes will initiate the conversation and double check the buyers understand exactly what they're buying. By educating prospective buyers on the kit they're buying, they minimize the returns that they get and spend less time on the post-sales inquiries. Sorry about that. So, the key takeaway from that is, make sure you're spending enough time on your online activities. Make sure that you're delivering the customer service that people would expect in store online. So, tip 4: maintaining your Reverb badges. So Reverb badges tell potential customers you're an experienced seller with a track record of great service, which can ultimately lead to more sales on your end. They highlight the specific things that you do well and signal to buyers that you're a trusted seller. There's 3 badges that your shop can earn on Reverb. The quick responder badge tells buyers that you respond to messages within 16 hours and offers within 12. Preferred seller badge tells buyers that you're a trusted and experienced seller. And the quick shipper badge tells buyers that you ship orders within 24 hours of the order clearing. This trio of badges can help you stand out to buyers and help them choose who to purchase from help them choose who to purchase from based on the level of trust and safety that's shown in the shop. Some sellers who do a great job of maintaining their badges include the Music Zoo in New York, Thunder Road Guitars in Seattle, Gear Tree in Jenison, Michigan, and in the UK, Merchant City Music in Glasgow. So there we are. There's my tips for seeing online success in 2021. Just so you know, as you work to achieve these goals, Reverb is committed to helping you by bringing as many as many buyers as possible, whether that be through our community of high quality buyers around the world, support from our customer engagement team full of gear experts, account managers like me dedicated to helping transactions run smoothly, or our marketing and tech teams who are always looking for ways to get sellers' products in the different promotions we do, whether that be on site or in email or on social. And in 2021, we're seeing music makers continue to shop for gear online now that they've experienced just how easy it is. And we urge our sellers to continue taking steps to strengthen and optimize their online sales channels to set themselves up for continued e-commerce success. Now, if you have any questions about any of these tips, or you want to talk about how we can grow your Reverb sales in 2021, you can always reach out sellerengagement@reverb.com. Myself and the rest of the seller engagement team would be more than happy to talk to you and set you up for success for the rest of this year and beyond as well. We'll talk about next year and talk about 5 years and down the line. More than happy to speak to you. And yeah, Brian, if you've got any questions about those tips, feel free to ask them now. Let's talk about them.
Sure. Well, thanks. This is a great presentation. I hope everyone can really enjoy it. It's quick and this is but it gives you so much great information. So thank you. I guess, the first comment, I guess, for everyone to say, I think that you said at the end, is that even past the pandemic, online sales are still going to be really important part of your business. I think that's a statement we can make. And then I guess just one question. I think you really covered everything here, but the follow up, I mean, you made a really great point about the in-store resources that you need to keep using for these online sales. And you also talked about the badges. In addition to responding really quickly, which is obviously, I think, incredibly important, can you expand on a little more about maybe a tip or two about how you should respond or what you should say so that you make sure you don't, responding is great, of course, let's say within 16 hours. You mentioned, but if you say the wrong thing, it's still going to upset the customer. So do you have like maybe a point or two that you could just mention briefly about ways that you might want to go about the response? I know it varies based on what they're asking, but maybe there's just something in general that you could say to help them out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing that I've noticed from sellers who do well in the UK certainly is that they take the same kind of time that they would over a phone call or a conversation in store when they're doing their messaging. The sellers that tend to send shorter messages that perhaps don't contain the actual information that the customer is asking for don't do as well as someone who is treating it in the same way as they would the store experience. And I think that's that's really the broader point there, is that, start thinking about your online offerings in the same way that you do in store. You would, if a customer was looking at an expensive item, you would probably spend a decent amount of time with them trying to gauge their needs, making sure that all the questions are answered fully, and just making sure that they get the best level experience. And I think that is what really needs to be replicated online. Sending even if their question is a yes or no answer question, I would generally, I wouldn't respond with yes or no as a single word message. Take some time to really just explore what the customer is asking, and there's potential there for upsales perhaps, or there's potential, like in the studio care example, to just make sure the customer is getting exactly what they require, because it will minimize the amount of work that you have to do post sale if the customer has questions afterwards.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to ask you right now. As you could see on the screen, hopefully everyone can see, if they have questions, as you mentioned, for you, Mark, they could reach out to sellerengagement@reverb.com. I'm sure there's more questions than what I just asked. I only asked one, so I'm sure somebody has something. So I'm a retailer. So, but thank you. I want to thank Mark Packham of Reverb for all this information today. This is really great stuff, and I wish the best of luck to all of our retailers in selling and using the e-commerce platforms. So thank you, Mark.
Thank you.